Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I did have some notes, but I think I've lost them. Guys, what I want to talk about today is the UK elections are coming up. UK elections and how we've got into this absolute. The only way I think I can describe it is mess. So I didn't actually realise until this morning that the latest that we can have an election in the UK is by the end of January 2025. I didn't realise that. I thought it needed to be by November. I thought November was the latest date. I was wrong. I don't know why I thought that. I must have been listening to the US elections. But what we're going to do, guys, we're going to talk about the UK elections, where I think it's going. And then I'm going to tell you the easiest solution, how to fix it. And I don't think anybody understands this because people are career politicians at the moment. So at the moment, it's looking like we're going to have Keir Starmer as the next Prime Minister. And guys, Keir Starmer gives me that impression of like a used car salesman, but the manager of the store. And he's not being promoted because he's better or anything, or he's good at his job. He's literally just been promoted because he's not been sacked and he's been there the longest. So that's kind of when I look at Keir Starmer, that's what I think. I think, right, you're not exciting. You've not got any new ideas. You're literally there because you've been there the longest. And, you don't really have anybody of charisma coming up to replace you. When I look at Rishi Sunak, he's obviously a lot more youthful, but I don't really feel he's in touch with the voters. I mean, if you look at some of the videos when he was younger, talking, go and look at the videos with Rishi Sunak when he was younger. So I think he's going to struggle to get votes from a certain demographic of people. And what I think is going to happen as well, because what you've seen in these local elections is people are just not going to vote because it's like, right, I mean, I always vote in the elections. I always vote in anything. I want to have my say. But the last elections, the local elections, I thought, you know what? I can waste my time going and voting, or I can just go and do the shopping. So I went and did my shopping, and that's the reality, guys, all right? And I know that's not how it should be, but that's the reality of how I felt. I couldn't be bothered to go and vote. Now, I'm confident that there will be a lot of people in the UK who just won't be bothered to vote, who just can't be bothered to get up and go out and vote. So you've got your two main parties, Labour and the Conservatives. Both their leaders are struggling with charisma. You've got Reform as, I looked at the polls this morning, and Reform are they're in a, not a close third, but quite a distant third, but they're still in third place. Again, they need charismatic leadership. Look when Nigel Farage was running, Brexit Party. He had huge charisma. He had huge pull. People were debating him, and he was just articulating better than them. He was bringing better arguments than other people. Look at Boris Johnson now. Whether you like him or not, he had insane charisma, and that's and that's kind of what people vote for. At the moment, we're not seeing that in the UK at all. I don't really see any leader that I would particularly say, hey, do you know what? We're looking like we're heading towards a war. You are my Winston Churchill character. Absolutely not. There's nobody there. Which leads me, I suppose it does segue into what I want to talk about next. The rise of fringe parties. So what you've seen in the local election is people winning a local election on their foreign policy. I don't even know how that's a thing. So when people are voting now, they're voting on local elections, they're voting for councillors that have a strong foreign policy. I don't know what local councillors have to do with foreign policy. Maybe I'm missing something. I thought, your local councillors were there to deal with local issues, bins, potholes, access to hospitals, transport, local things. Obviously, I'm wrong. Obviously, your local councillors now are all for foreign policy and implementing their will. What I see happening in this next election, because nobody's going to vote, what will happen is you will have a huge rise in these fringe parties that have strong foreign policy, whether that's, pro-Palestinian guys, you know, people who are for or against this war, for or against that war, you know, and you're going to have a huge rise in these people voting for this. That's not really going to affect much at this next election, but what it is going to do, it's going to set a precedent and it's going to gain momentum. And then the next election, so 2028, 2029, whatever it is, that's when the real problem is going to be, the 2028, 2029 election, because those people who've got that momentum, they've got that energy, they've said, they'll have seen, so guys, listen, you know what, if we all come together and vote, we can actually get one of our guys in charge. We can get somebody who we never thought we could into the Houses of Parliament. So that's what's going to happen this election, obviously leading on to the next election. So, like I said, it's looking like we're going. Let's look at the facts. Let's look at the highest likelihood of what's going to happen. So in the next election, it's looking like it's going to be a Labour win. It could be a hung parliament. I don't think it will be from the polls and from what I'm seeing. I just don't see that. It looks like we are probably going to be, if we're not in a conflict by then, we're going to be in a world conflict pretty soon afterwards. So, do we look at Keir Starmer and his cabinet as, you know, a war cabinet? People who can make strong decisions, people who can pull the country through whatever adversaries face them? I don't think so. So how do we fix this, guys? How can we fix this and get our political class to work for us? Because essentially, when we vote for somebody, they're literally working for us. For me, for you, for taxpayers, they are working for us. And the reality is they don't think they work for us. They think, you know, we're their minions. I remember watching I think it was in Barnsley, near where I live. Yeah, it was actually. It was the last election when the Tories had broke through the red wall, and I remember the Barnsley MPs or the Labour guys from Barnsley, whoever it was, and they'd lost the election, and he came out and he said, "The voters have let us down." I'm like, no, that's not how it happens. The voters you've let the voters down. That's why they've not voted for you. So that's the kind of mentality that we have in this country. Now, if you look back to when, you know, Parliament was formed, you know, we still had like pirates, you know, cruising around, and we're still on the same system. So how do we fix it, guys? Sorry, I'm waffling. So how do we fix it? It's simple. We need to be able to pay them. So we pay our council tax every month, whatever it is, 100, I don't know, whatever, everyone's different. Now, your council tax, it just comes out of your bank or wherever, and you have to pay that every month regardless. Now, what I would propose is, say that your council tax is, I don't know, I'm just making these numbers up, guys. We'd have to look at these numbers, and, you know, somebody would have to crunch these numbers better. But in the context and in the essence, it would be, right, you pay, for example, say you pay £100 council tax a month, whatever. You say, right, okay, from that £100, I'm just estimating this number, guys, all right? £5 would go to my local MP, and that's his salary or her salary, right? If they don't do what I want them to do, guess what? Up on my phone, on the website, whatever, I go and I say, right, I'm not paying them. That money goes to my local council instead. Guess what happens overnight? We get a load of politicians who actually start doing what they say. So, for example, where I live in the UK, we voted overwhelmingly for Brexit. Now, whether you voted for Brexit or not, that's a different matter. I had to watch my local MP vote down every proposal for Brexit that was proposed. And I was thinking, this is what really wound me up. I was thinking, you represent us, we voted for something, and now you're voting against everything that would make that happen. It's absolutely ridiculous, guys. Put this in another context. Imagine you've got a house and you have a builder come in to do you a garage. You know, you say, right, can you build me a garage? He says, yep, I'll build you this garage, mate. Yeah, you agree on the price. You agree where the garage is going. You say, right, you know what? I'm going to go on holiday. I'll just come back and it'll be done. Okay. You go on holiday, you come back and he's got a swimming pool. What? You say, mate, I asked you for a garage. and he says, yeah, but actually I think this swimming pool's better for you, you'd say, well, I'm not paying you. I asked for a garage. You say, yeah, but you've kind of got to pay me because I've built it now. You'd say, no, I want my money back, and I want you to get rid of that pool, and I want you to build a garage. That's kind of how the world works, but not in politics. We vote for our politicians, and then they get 4 years, and we have to pay them. So the only way we can make these people work harder, work for us, and more importantly, do what they say. Because they all wave the flag, they all wave the flag saying they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do this, they're going to make all this stuff happen. They get elected and they do nothing. That's because of the system that's set up. I'll give you another example. When I used to work overseas, I used to work in Iraq, and I've worked for the gas and oil industry out there, and I've worked for the embassies out there. The embassy staff, it was so easy working for the embassy staff because they get paid regardless. They get paid whether they go to their meetings, whether they, make things happen, whether they, do their job or not. They get paid the same amount. So it's really easy working for them because they cancel jobs all the time. They say, oh, we'll do it tomorrow. Oh, we can do it by email. They're really slack. The gas and oil industry, those people are getting their bonuses. So they're pushing hard every hour, God sends, to get that bonus, to get that, because they want to get paid. So we need our politicians to be working for us. And the only way to do that, the only way to do that is to not pay them on their performance. We live in a world now, we've got so much technology, we've got so many online systems, we've got so many apps on our phones. We can do this easily. So that's the reality, guys, all right? 2020, these elections that we're coming, I think we're going to have Labour, unfortunately. We've got a used car salesman that's, like the manager of the used car lot, that's only the manager. I'm thinking at the moment of the, I went with my little girl to one of those like car superstores or whatever they're called. And I'm thinking of the guy now. I shouldn't, but I'm thinking of the guy. He did look a bit like Keir Starmer, and I just looked at him and I thought, wow, this is nothing against used car salesmen. I thought, wow, you know what? I can tell that you have spent your whole life in here selling used cars. And, I just think of Keir Starmer when I thought of him. Anyway, guys, so we've literally got used car salesman, senior used car salesman, should we say it, as the next Prime Minister. Looks like we're going to be in a global conflict. The only way to sort this out is to not pay our politicians if they don't do what they say. And that would make them then, it would make them work. It would make them do stuff. Because imagine, and again, bring this down. Let's break this right down now to the basic level. So on a family level, on the lowest common denominator. I think that's the right phrase. On the lowest rung. Your politician, whoever he or she is, they've been elected, they've said they're going to do X, Y, and Z. They start working at it, they're working at their office or in their spare room or wherever they're doing it. It's a hot sunny day. Kids are saying, Mummy, Daddy, can we go here? Mummy, Daddy, can we go here? Mummy, Daddy, can we go here? And they're like, do you know what? This can wait. And that's the reality of it, all right? Now, imagine that same politician, they're working on X, Y, and Z. It's a nice hot sunny day. The kids come down and they say, Mummy, Daddy, can we go here? Mummy, Daddy, can we go here? They're thinking, well, no, we can't, because I need to get this stuff done, because if I don't get this stuff done, I'm not getting paid. That's how the world works. That's how that's how me, that's how everything works. If I don't work, I don't get paid. If you don't work, you don't get paid. Our politicians need to work on the same, on the same contract. It's ridiculous. Any other system is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that they get 4 years without having to do anything. They get 4 years salary without doing anything. Guys, that is it. I'm going to talk to you again later. And let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Do you think that it would be a good idea that politicians get paid per performance? Just saying it sounds ridiculous. Do you think politicians should get paid as per their performance? Or do we think we should just pay them regardless and let them have a free hand? Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. And how can we implement this? I'll speak to you guys later.